Halo, selamat datang di mata kuliah Psikologi Komunikasi. Kita masih di sesi 5, tetapi bagian yang kedua. Tadi kita sudah membahas tentang pendekatan simbolik interaksionisme. Sekarang kita akan mempelajari dan mendiskusikan tentang teori media kritis. Tetapi pengantarnya saja pakai bahasa Indonesia ya. Untuk penjelasannya tetap kita gunakan bahasa Inggris. Oke, kalau di PPT, teori media kritis dimulai di slide 15. So, please proceed to slide 15. Oke, for the goals of our fifth session, at the second part, by learn about critical media theory, you are able to explain about concrete examples, analyze events to identify changes in behavior based on the concept of critical media theory. And our topics or our keywords is about critical media theory concept and the behavior change based on critical media theory. Okay, if you see at slide 17, you see the illustration mass communication living in a media world. As we have already learned before, mass communication plays a very important role in line with the development of information, right? The digital era as it is today has made mass communication, especially those fronted by a number of mass media, have grown rapidly as the purpose of the media in mass communication. For example, we cannot even stop the flow of information conveyed by the mass media as a modern communication medium. Even though they originate from the same incident, each mass media still has a way to convey the message they want to give to the public domain as a way of communicating well. Okay guys, when we're talking about the increasingly central role of the mass media, especially in the 21st century, so we cannot deny that behind every mass media there are always hidden interests, right? It is a common and natural view that big capital owners always have the power to control the media as a cause of communication anxiety in groups. Therefore, basically, the mass media are also not free from various criticism from the public. In view of this condition, critical theory or critical media theory has existed since ancient times. This theory comes from the branch of Marxism, where the pioneering figures included Karl Marx, Engels, George Lucas, Korsch, Gramsci, Guevara, Habermas, Hamza Alavi about modern thinking, and etc. To further understand the various kinds of group communication, let us briefly examine critical theory in a mass communication and we will discuss it completely. Okay, at slide 19, you can see the figures of the critical theory figures ya, tokoh dari teori media kritis. Critical theory is a critical theory concept. Understanding of critical theory comes from four thoughts that are each conceptualized by the following expert. Jadi ini beberapa tokoh yang mengemukakan tentang teori media kritis ya. Yang pertama adalah Immanuel Kant. In his concept, Immanuel Kant argues that criticism is an activity to test the transitionality of knowledge claims without prejudice. In this case, it can be explained broadly that criticism is the right of anyone, as is leadership communication, whether they have an educational background or knowledge related to it or who do not. Jadi bebas, semua orang punya right, punya hak untuk mengkritik, tidak terlepas dari latar belakang pendidikan ataupun pengetahuan yang dia miliki. Because Immanuel emphasized in his concept that criticality is an activity to test, meaning that the critic is none of other than a tester. Jadi pada intinya karena si Immanuel ini menekankan dalam konsepnya bahwa kritikan itu sebuah kegiatan untuk nguji, artinya pemberi kritik berlaku sebagai seorang penguji gitu ya. Okay, the second expert called Hegel. Hegel argues that the concept of critical theory is seen as a form of self-reflection on the pressures and contradictions that hinder the process of forming the self-ratio in human history. In this case, Hegel views that there is something that cannot be accepted later. It is even seen as a contradiction. Therefore, it then raises the turmoil that occurs in someone's, which then makes him have to reflect in the form of criticism. Jadi intinya adalah Hegel ini berpendapat bahwa teori kritis adalah bentuk refleksi diri dari sebuah tekanan atau sebuah kontradiktif terhadap suatu hal yang berlangsung secara global, secara dalam sejarah umat manusia, seperti itu. Kalau tadi si Immanuel Kant itu adalah bentuk tes, kalau Hegel ini bentuk kritisisme itu bentuk refleksi diri. Kemudian yang ketiga, Karl Marx. Karl Marx argue that criticality is an effort to try to emancipate oneself from the alienation generated by power relations in society as a cause of success in communication. This means that there is a gap between public and government relations. These conditions then causes critical thinking and causes criticism to emerge. Jadi Karl Marx ini lebih berpendapat bahwa kritik itu merupakan suatu upaya untuk mengemansipasi diri dari keterasingan yang dihasilkan dari gap antara kekuasaan, dalam hal ini government ini jangan diterjemahkan sebagai pemerintah ya, tetapi sebagai bagian atau orang atau badan atau organisasi yang punya kekuasaan dengan masyarakat. Ada kesenjangan hubungan antara masyarakat dan pemegang kekuasaan. Nah, disinilah muncul kritik. Ada juga tokoh psikologi Sigmund Freud menjelaskan bahwa kritik merupakan refleksi atas konflik psikis yang menghasilkan represi dan memanipulasikan kesadaran. Nah, kritik ini biasanya dipicu oleh konflik psikis, teman-teman, yang dialami oleh seseorang atau suatu kelompok. Intinya gini, konflik dan kritik itu punya hubungan yang relevan. Kayak gitu ya. Okay, now we will talk about the application and criticism of critical theory in mass communication. Ini agak panjang, teman-teman. Tapi kita akan bahas dari sudut pandang lebih praktis gitu ya. Jadi gini, globalization and various times, jadi globalisasi dan perkembangan zaman, have made us humans enter a new cultural environment, right? The culture of global communication, technology, and media. Under these new conditions, new forms of communication technology have created a form of global interrelation and integration that world history has never imagined. Gampang ya pengertiannya ya. Various developments occurred including the media, and in fact, rekan-rekan, the media are forming human consciousness. The representation made by the media in a societal structure is better understood as a medium capable of providing a context for the influence of manufactured consent. In this case, media doesn't only play its role as a passive instrument that is not dynamic in the process of cultural reconstruction, but mass media remains a dynamic social reality. Nah, inilah peran teori media kritis. Kenapa? Unfortunately, the media are not free from their interests. Ada tendensi di situ. Not free of value, especially those of the owners of the capital, the state, or a group. These interests ultimately make the media a dominating tool for human life. In fact, because of this interest, the media may be biased or distort in nature ya teman-teman ya. Gini, media itu kan makin berkembang ya, apalagi kan globalisasi seperti sekarang. Sayangnya, media-media masa ini kan dalam tanda kutip dikuasai dan juga akhirnya tidak lepas dari tendensi-tendensi atau kepentingan-kepentingan terutama dari para pemilik modal, pemegang kekuasaan, atau suatu kelompok. Nah, akhirnya karena kepentingan inilah kita seakan disetir oleh media dalam tanda kutip. Sehingga media ini bukan sebagai sesuatu yang pasif bagi kita, tapi sesuatu yang dinamik ya akhirnya bisa berpengaruh pada pola pikir dan akhirnya berpengaruh pada perilaku kita seperti yang kita bahas minggu lalu. Nah, akhirnya karena ada kepentingan-kepentingan tersebut, teman-teman, media ini akhirnya menjadi bias, akhirnya terdistorsi. Nah, inilah peran dari critical media theory. This theory invite us to make reflexive exploration of the experience and the way we define our culture, the world, and ourselves. It is driven by the awareness that meaning is not something natural and direct. Language is not a transparent medium that can convey ideas without distortion, teman-teman. Kontradiktifnya adalah it is a set of agreement that influence and determine the kinds of idea and human experience. By seeking to understand the process by which text, objects, and humans are associated with certain meanings, critical theory questions the legitimacy of general assumptions about experience, knowledge, and truth. Jadi dengan berusaha paham proses di media massa tersebut, teori kritis ini mencoba untuk mempertanyakan legitimasi anggapan umum tentang sebuah pengalaman, pengetahuan, atau kebenaran yang ada yang disajikan oleh media. Teori kritis berusaha mengungkap dan mempertanyakan asumsi-asumsi yang ada di media tersebut. Jadi, critical theory ini adalah a device, suatu perangkat, nalar logika kita, yang bahkan kalau misalnya kita menggunakan teori kritis ini, kita bisa mengubah dunia. Oke, simpelnya gimana? In slide 22, we can understand that in simple terms, critical theory wants to tell us that the need to study a social contextual mass communication and mass media, teman-teman. Perlunya kita mempelajari secara kontekstual sosial komunikasi massa dan media massa. It is intended that the historical, economic, and political background for the mass communication phenomenon can be obtained not only as long as we accept or ingest all message, news, information from the mass media and in our daily interaction. Jadi nggak hanya sekedar asal kita terima, kita telan mentah-mentah segala pesan, berita, informasi dari media massa maupun di dalam interaksi kita sehari-hari. Artinya apa? Artinya kita harus mengkritisi apakah media massa tersebut tepat, apakah media massa tersebut sudah memberikan berita yang bijak, berita yang oke, apakah berita yang diberikan itu mengganggu psikologis kita, mengganggu tatanan hidup kita, atau seperti apa. Nah, itulah peran dari criticism theory. So, in the following meetings, on the next sessions, before we continue to last sessions ya, pertemuan ke-7, we will study how contextual understanding and how to be wiser in media literacy. Especially next week, we will try to find out how the role of the media in our most underlying mental process known as perception. Kita khusus untuk minggu depan, sesi 6, kita akan coba mengetahui bagaimana peran media dalam proses mental kita yang paling dasar, yaitu persepsi, framing. Kita akan melihat bagaimana media massa itu memframing kita. Okay, that's all for our course today. Once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me by Japri, by private message, or you can ask on the group of our WhatsApp group ya, or you can discuss it on Bella. Oh yeah, I also attach the discussion at Bella, and please click on the forum and answer the questions. After that, don't forget to do the fun quiz. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please be safe, keep healthy, and see you next week. God bless you all. Bye-bye.